What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Investing Bros. It is Tuesday, July 25th, and we have got a show lined up for you guys today. I do not enjoy being a bear. Listen, guys, if I had my way, I would want everything to moonshot and we all just make a bunch of money tomorrow, and then we take our profits, we wait for a dip, and we buy more later. But, guys, that's not how the market moves. I don't get to choose which way the market moves. I don't get to choose what comes in the news. But we do have to react to it, and there is something huge happening right now involving UPS that if it is not dealt with, guys, we could see another big crash on Bitcoin. I'm not even just talking about down to 25,000. I'm talking about at least down to 20,000, if not new lows coming, because this could be a spark for an already fragile U.S. economy that could lead to a recession. We will talk about that more later on in the show, so you got to stick around. We still will do charts. We'll still talk other crypto, but that is the big news hitting us today. Make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I do have to give you guys an update. And I put a tweet out last night. I confused CryptoSec guy. He didn't understand what I was saying. You guys did amazing. We gained 54 subscribers yesterday in total. Not while we're live. We only got like 9 while we were live. And I told you guys if we get 20 while we are live, then we will give you guys 5 free memberships. I made a challenge last night for us to get to 3,900, and we made a great push, but we only ended up getting to about 3,846. So we did not quite get there, but there's still a chance, guys, before the end of today's live stream. We're going to get views in here. I'm anticipating we're getting up to 170, 180 concurrent today, probably over 500, maybe 600 people come in. We can absolutely hit that like button, but that means you right now got to start the trend. Smash the like button. Even if you're new here, even if you're just joining and you want to potentially win a free membership, smash the like button. YouTube loves when people smash like buttons. They bring more people in. That's a higher percentage of you guys being able to win maybe 7 between 150 likes and 20 subscribers while we're live. We could give away 7 memberships, and you don't want to miss it because remember, today T-Shroom and I are doing a Hot Ones edition of our Bro Time for our silver members. With that said, speaking of the Shroom, I got to introduce my co-host this morning, T-Shroom, the Florida man. How are you doing?
I'll be honest with you, Tim, and I know I don't say this a lot, but I'm doing better than I deserve.
Yeah,
really.
That's pretty rare that you say that, actually. That's a good new line.
Yeah, so yesterday, very relaxing day, but I actually got a lot done. You ever have one of those just smooth productivity days? That was me yesterday. Well, I've also got a good quote of the day for us today. It comes from none other than Jordan Belfort, the original Wolf of Wall Street. He said, "When you live your life by poor standards, you inflict damage on everyone who crosses your path, especially those you love." Now, Tim, I've got to get your take on this one, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he's talking about hindsight and reflecting with regret on decisions he made in life because, of course, that's a man that caused more pain than most will ever even dream of causing to other individuals. So I'm hoping this is him reflecting on a life lesson. I still don't know if we should be listening too heavily to the words of old Jordan Belfort, not one of the most stand-up guys in the world, but it still is a good quote. Regardless of who said it, it is a true statement. Now, here's the thing, T-Shirt.
Wait. Who do you think Jordan Belfort is?
The Wolf of Wall Street.
I don't think people think of him as like a very unethical guy. I mean, he was doing things that were he was definitely operating in the gray areas.
T-Shroom, you lost yesterday about WorldCoin. You did win the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but don't start the show off this early with another loss. We don't even need to bring the chat in on this. Just go ahead and recant that statement. Jordan Belfort was a ethical person or unethical person? T-Shroom finishes saying
definitely an unethical person.
Okay, thank you. There we go. Good.
But he was an epic like hero of Wall Street.
An epic liar. He was an epic liar and thief. Yeah, that's right. Yes, good quote there, T-Shroom.
Let's go. They made a movie about him.
They make a movie about Hitler. Does that mean like that's not a reason to say someone's good?
Straight to the Hitler example. Love it.
I mean, is there any other example? Let's go to my thought of the day brought to you guys by Dwight Schrute. And here's the thing, guys, especially with WorldCoin coming in and all these other things, you better learn your rules because if you don't, you'll be eaten in your sleep.
Wow.
To be fair, this is actually a song that I will sing for you guys. It's learn your rules. You better learn your rules. If you don't, you'll be eaten in your sleep. There we go. Perfect. We got a super chat that just came in. We're about to read some names here, but you guys know we love our shenanigans early on. Elliot Locke said, that's a good looking inmate in your background, T-Shroom. Yes, for anyone who maybe missed it, what's happening in your background? Are there any updates from yesterday, or maybe we'll inform some people who were unable to join the show?
Absolutely, Tim. So right here, I've got a ADA inmate, and it looks really good. It's got the ADA inmate kind of title up there right above it. And then on the other side, I've got, it was not a Bored Ape Yacht Club. Tim, you actually predicted it correctly. I don't, they said it. I can't exactly remember. Let me see if I can
It's
find
a
it.
ripoff.
Well,
that's definitely what they look like.
You called it a ripoff.
It's a ripoff. That's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be able to find it fast enough. Oh, here it is. It was from Reggie Classics, Dungeon Tolman. He said it is a Bored Ape golf club. So Tim was kind of right in saying ripoff,
okay.
Although I will be able to use it in Sandbox for a golf game they're building.
Yeah, okay. So it's not a technical Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT, but it's made by the same people and it's just a different line. We're starting to get into some real big technicalities over there. Man, this is a good show. Maybe we'll just turn this into the new show of T-Shroom and I arguing with each other and debating. It's been fun. We had another one. I don't think it's going to come on the show, but we had another argument this morning. Man, we are like an old married couple at this point, T-Shroom.
Yeah, I think so.
It's good.
Yeah, without the tax benefits.
It's true. It's very true. All right, let's go ahead and read some names here in chat, everybody, because you guys know yesterday we actually had like pretty much a flawless show. No technical difficulties. No one got kicked out. Let's do it 2 days in a row, everybody. But we got to read the names to make sure that happens. The first commenter of the day, a name that used to reign supreme like an Alabama dynasty, but recently hadn't had as much success, but a mellow fellow with the blue wrench coming in first place, saying top of the morning, bros. Top of the morning to you, a mellow fellow. Good to see you back up top. Gia S is right behind him. Congratulations on being number 2. Third place, Mike Play. Congratulations, top 3. Who else are we joined by this morning? Crypto JMP is here. Dustin Singer is here. Army Piper with the blue wrench is here. Remington Peralt. Let's see, who else do we have? CBD Suddy is here. Let's see. Crypto Trades. Man, Crypto Trades is always here, but I don't get to read his name that often because he's always late. Crypto Trades. What's happening with that?
Crypto Trades.
Always late. Eric Wallen is here. Elliot Locke is here. Peninsulas is here. Who else do we have? Let's get a couple more here and we'll move on in the morning. Eric Browning, Indie Rock Crypto, Yair Navarro, Ninja Glock, T-Shroom with the blue wrench. There we go. Yeah, let's see. Who else do we have here? A lot of the same names. Okay, keep scrolling. Average Crypto Joe is here. Nancy Croy, Philly Skills 1428, Crypto Ben Franklin, everyone's favorite non-president. At this point, Ben Franklin, since I keep saying it, why don't you just go ahead and change your name to Crypto Ben Franklin and then in parentheses put everyone's favorite non-president, because
you'd think
you need to just go ahead and do it.
Mike Lowry said he was coming to us from Martha's Vineyard today. So
don't do that. Cool. Don't. No, you need to leave. You need to leave there. Get out. Elo Brown is here. Let's see. We'll do 3 more and we'll move on with the rest of the show. Lou Sasul, but it's the same picture as Jack. So I don't know what to think about this. Jack Mehoff, I haven't read his name yet, but I'm seeing the same exact picture for Lou Sasul. Lou Sasul.
Interesting. Well, Fogo said sending love and positivity from Brazil. So that's pretty cool. Got some international persuasion in the chat. Grand
Roofie Incorporated is here. We got one more. Peter Provost. Guys, that is the names for today. If I did not read your name, it's not because I don't love you. It's just time to go ahead and move on with the show. But make sure, again, smash that like, because even though we haven't done it yet, I have faith in you guys. We can have an episode where we gain 20 subscribers and an episode where we hit 150 likes while we are live. I think yesterday, I felt so bad. I think we got to like 137. So we were literally 13 likes away from getting that 150. You guys got to do a little bit better today. Smash that like button early. Go tell your friends. Sign into several accounts. Hit those likes, and we will get those memberships given away for the bro time this afternoon. Let's go ahead and jump on in here, T-Shroom, to our economic outlook. Nothing really happening today. The next thing, of course, we're going to be really quick with this one. Of course, tomorrow is going to be the Fed interest rate. We're going to talk more about that here in a second. Not that we think that there's really that much changing, but there are some different opinions based on the CME futures we'll talk about. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and crypto liquidations. Let me make sure. I just want to refresh and make sure this is accurate. We are, yeah, okay, so it wasn't completely accurate. KNC. I don't know if I know what KNC is, but it is leading the way with the most long liquidation. So this is bearish. Yes, that green box does not mean good. Green means bad in this case. Red is good. But KNC is leading the way with 137,000 liquidations for longs.
That is the Kyber Network Crystal V2.
Heck, I have no idea what that is.
No idea.
Doge right behind after having a great day yesterday. Makes a lot of sense. There were longs entered, I'm sure. So they have about 134,000 longs liquidated. Bitcoin only at 80,000. I'm surprised. Like people must have longed those positions yesterday and just got liquidated very, very quickly. XRP, despite the fact that it is down, with more shorts liquidated for only 42,000, but that's still something. WorldCoin, I know that it had a dip last night, but must have got a small bounce because they got 38,000 shorts liquidated here. Those are the big movers when it comes to liquidations. Let's upgrade. Are we seeing the exact same? What the heck?
Uh-oh.
This site can't be reached. Reload. Go back.
This site is forbidden.
Just give me the.
What site are you trying to go to, Tim?
It's Trueflation, man. Trueflation.com is broke. Oh, there we go.
I want you to know the truth.
See, that's not even technical difficulties. That's like website difficulties. I don't know. We're not going to count that. We're not going to count that as technical difficulty. It's exactly where we left it yesterday at 2.400% move right there. You got to take what you get. Now, you're going to notice here that we're on CME futures. The bar changed. It moved to the left. No, that doesn't mean that now they're predicting we're going to have a pause. It means there's a 1.1% chance that we get a 50-point rate hike here in the month of July. It's the same thing as saying it's not going to happen. Guys, we're going to get 25 basis points here. There is not necessarily a massive change. You will see some of the percentages change. So the chances of having another rate hike in September has risen, same as November, same as December has risen a little bit. There's a small chance we cut in December, but not a very great one. It's still saying December's a pause. January is going to be a pause as well. But this is another one. In January, we had the 5 to 525 was higher here last week, and the 550 to 575 was lower. Now you're seeing it kind of raise up there. March, while technically speaking, oh, no, this changed. Okay, literally, when I checked this morning, it has changed since then. We are now saying March no longer the expectation is to cut rates. It's actually barely this direction, but they are saying they're expecting March to go ahead and hold off and stay paused. Let's check to see. Is it May of the month? Yeah, okay. So now May of 2024 is the first meeting that CME Futures is predicting that Jerome Powell and the Fed will finally do the first rate cut. Again, this can change a lot, but I want you guys to know the significance of this. It started to be my normal ritual for you guys. The reason this is important is because markets trade based off of what they think is going to happen over the next couple of months. So a lot of people look at this to kind of get a feeling of what the economy is looking like, what CME futures predictions are thinking the economy is going to look like, and they trade based off it. So that's why it's important to kind of look out into the future. Let's keep moving on, though, to the win for T-Shroom. You're not going to get it very often. Listen, I'm not just going to be real. He's not going to beat me often, but he did beat me here. I said I thought we were going to be at 45 on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. He said 50. He nailed it right on the head. I lost. T-Shroom won. Congratulations, T-Shroom. Much applaud. Good for you. The real loser, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the real loser. I'm going to talk about that here in just a second when we go over to the charts. But remember that we're back down to 50. When you scroll down here and you look at price action over the last month, not price action, excuse me, Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index action, we have hit 50 here 2 other times. This is the 3rd time in the last month. And let's see. Let's go back to 3 months. Other than these 2 times, the last time we were at 50 was all the way back in June of 2023. So let's remember that we're going to kind of compare when we go to TA. We're going to look at those dates. We're going to look at the price action of Bitcoin, and we'll talk about what that could mean for the price action. Let's take a look at what is happening here on Coin Market Cap. Let's take a look at just the top moving coins here. Ethereum up 0.01%, but hey, listen, green is green. You got to love it. USDC coin, we don't really count that. That's a stable coin. Dogecoin technically still up 2.2% in the last 24 hours, but a lot of that has to do with 24 hours ago, they were still moving to the upside. I guarantee if we come back and look at this in about an hour or two, that'll probably be in the red. But nothing else in the top 10. You got to go all the way down to Litecoin to get up. It just changed from 0.25 to 0.15. So not a lot of green for the top 10, but let's take a look at who is the biggest gainers, biggest losers of the day. XDC Network up 24%. If you guys invest in XDC, let me know in chat. You guys are great. I don't ever look at XDC Network to make any trades, so that wouldn't have made it. I have looked at Maker before. Maker's up 5.5%. I do believe Maker was one of the coins down in the red yesterday, so that sometimes happens. That's one of the signs when you see a coin significantly in the red. It might be one of the things you're looking at and saying, hey, is there a potential trade opportunity here? Sure enough, Maker was one of those opportunities. Dogecoin, again, leading up. So not a lot of green, not a lot of big movers outside of XDC. Let's take a look, though. Did we have any big losers? Not really. The biggest one, Compound, only down 7.11%. After that, it's a lot of sideways action yesterday. Pepe was a big loser yesterday. Now it's kind of leveling out, still losing after a big pump it had over the last couple of weeks. Most notably, one of the biggest losers with the big name Solana down 3.29%. But again, not that significant. What is significant, in my opinion, is the fact that optimism is down. And the reason why this is significant is because despite the fact that most people do not like WorldCoin in the crypto space, T-Shirt and I were talking about it a little bit this morning. I think he's changed his tune. I think he's joined the correct side and being anti-WorldCoin, but being built on optimism and launching that way, and the fact that there will be millions of people who have no idea why that's a bad thing and will just go and say, oh, that's cool. I'll scan my eye and have my identity be digital. You would think that this would actually flow more into optimism. So that's a pretty significant thing to keep your eyes on, that optimism is down despite the fact that it had a big adoption happen right there. Guys, that is our market open for crypto. It is time. 9:17. It's time to jump over into the charts. If you guys are excited about that, go ahead and smash that like button. We got 133 people watching right now. I don't know what the likes are at because I'm not looking at YouTube's page, but they better be somewhere around like 100. I think that's pretty fair. T-Shirt, are we at 100 likes?
We are at 70 likes, 69, 70 likes, 70 likes. So
come on.
It's disappointing.
Get the likes up, people. You can do it. Let's go ahead and move on into some TA brought to you guys, of course, by Chart Prime. By the way, guys, I got to do TA on BitBoy's channel yesterday. Thought I did a great job. Go back and watch it. I get to do it again today, and the reason for that is because it's supposed to be Kelly. Kelly is on a trip up in Vermont with some friends. He thought the Wi-Fi would be decent. Turns out it is crap. So I will be doing TA again today on BitBoy's channel. Make sure you come show some support and love. Because I'm a realist, a lot of people don't like me over there, so I need some friends in chat. Come watch me every single day. I'm on the show every day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come show support. But anyway, Bitcoin not sitting too much different. It's actually slightly up from what we were looking at yesterday. And of course, we talked about this. When you come down to the 4-hour, 1-hour charts here on Bitcoin, we're doing exactly what I said. We had these massive oversold flashes. We went super low on the RSI. We came all the way down to about 13. You guys can see when we're looking at the trend fusion, the oscillator itself dipped way below the money flow. This is sometimes a sign that you're bottoming out. This is a 4-hour chart, guys, which means this is probably relevant for about the next 48 hours or so. So for the next 2 days, I actually think there's a decent chance, not guaranteeing it, but decent chance we've bottomed out for right now, and we might even make a move all the way back up here towards 29.7, retreat that former support level as resistance. Let's take a look. Let's kind of go into the middle of this. Instead of going all the way to the daily, let's go to 8-hour, and then we'll look at 12-hour. What are we seeing here on these? Are we overextended? Yeah, so 8-hour here, we are flashing oversold for sure. RSI all the way down at 17, 3 of those oversold boxes. Let's go to the 12-hour chart, split the daily chart in half. Yeah, I mean, we're flashing oversold on the 12-hour. So this is a positive sign, guys, that I do believe if you're looking for a scalp trade, you're probably looking for a long. I'm probably looking to trigger somewhere closer towards that 1 hour chart, what 1 hour is saying, maybe even going all the way down to the 15-minute chart for a scalp trade, because I do believe the next day, maybe next 2 or 3 days could be a little bullish. It's when you go out to the daily chart that we're not quite that place yet. I will say the daily chart sitting super low here, technically got below that 30, but we're not seeing flashes yet. We're not seeing reversals. You guys can see on the trend fusion, the oscillator sitting there squarely right there in the middle of money flow. Now the money flow is kind of curving over, but I still believe my little T box here, as Piper calls it, at best 28.6 will be hit. More realistically, guys, I think that we're looking at a very slow and boring and bearish rest of July and August.
Yep.
And I'm going to make a prediction, guys. Mid to late August, I think we're retouching 28,000, hitting this blue line again. And then that's the good side of this, guys, because we'll touch that blue line for the, fourth time and be able to make another push. I still believe that we will see both a $36,000 and $25,000 Bitcoin. My personal thought is I think 36 will be hit first. If we lose this blue level, then we will hit 25 first and maybe go even lower, especially with the news we're going to talk about here at the end of the show. But for right now, I'm still feeling strongly that Bitcoin is heading up to 36 at some point. I do believe this is the kind of stuff that happens, guys. We talked about this before. Price action will move up. Will get really excited, super excited. They take advantage of that excitement. They take profit. We're talking about institutions and whales. They bring the price down. They start to really scare you and make you worry, and they want you to start selling so they can gobble up more supply, and then they skyrocket the price. And by the time you get excited again as a retail investor, that's when you know that things are getting a little too good to be true. That's kind of what I'm anticipating the market to feel like over the next little bit. So keep your eyes definitely on that. Let's take a look here at some indicators on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at our multi-time frame support and resistance. Let's take a look. Did I pull up my market oracle? Come on now, market oracle, work for me. Here's another sign. So 4 hour, guys, we got a reversal flash. We haven't had a bullish reversal flash since all the way back in June. I must have some really strict settings, but that tells you how powerful this signal is. One more reason why I do believe, I think the blood right now is over. I think the next couple of days are bullish. This also makes sense. We have a significant dip right before the FOMC meeting. Maybe we continue to trade sideways and the FOMC meeting tomorrow in about 8 hours or so. That's what makes a spark for a short-term rally. But then, of course, it'll be too good to be true, and I think we go back down to the downside. However, that's another positive sign that we are hitting a reversal on the 4 hour chart. Once again, guys, one of the reasons why I'm looking at that 28.6 level, number 2 strong support on the 12-hour chart. You also can see we're wrestling right now after cutting through the number 1 and the number 1s for both the 4 hour and the 12-hour. Strong support, now turned resistance. We did just wake up here last night, or excuse me, earlier this morning, and rejected on it. So if the bulls are gonna make a push, gotta break through that 29.3 level where we have some strong resistance. But that's what we're seeing here on Bitcoin. What time do we have? 9:23. T-Shroom, I'm going to let you choose what altcoin do we want to look at today. XRP is struggling. We talked about XRP yesterday. We can do that. That's a big one right now. We can look at XRP again. Do we want to look at Cardano, Ethereum, Litecoin?
Let me see.
Link? What are you thinking?
Let me see what's moving on my watch list over here.
Dogecoin up 4% according to my
try
thing.
to find one that's down that we don't really do very often. What about Compound? COMP.
COMP. Let's take a look. Let's see what Compound
It
is
might
doing.
be the first time we've done TA on Compound.
Well, it can't be the first because I have a line drawn on here.
You do.
So somewhere, somehow, somebody had me draw a line. Let's go out here and see what I was looking. I mean, this is a while ago, I would imagine, because I have 2 lines drawn. I must have done this on a log chart. Let's see what that looks like.
Looks like it.
Yeah, so I did this all the way back here. So it's been a long time. It's been a very long time since I've done TA, but let's take a look at how this TA has held up. When I drew this, I guarantee you the price action was either somewhere over here or somewhere over here. Let's keep extending this level of resistance here on the log chart. I was using a log chart, so that's another thing that's important to have a detail here. Take a look at these levels and how they have played significant. After having a falling wedge, we talked about that broke out to the downsides, meaning it failed. It didn't do what it normally does. Those levels stayed super, super important. Here, after we finally turned this red line into support, we've used it 1, 2, 3 times. Even though we set a new low here in June, we found support on this former resistance level. Then most recently here over the last couple of days, we have rejected on this former support level of the falling wedge. So that TA, it's not what you wanted. We were hoping for a more of a bullish push up here, but those levels stay significant, and it's really cool to see that play out. We're going to do something, guys, though. We're going to go ahead and delete all of that. That's old news. Let's take a look at what is fresher. I want to take a look at the linear chart here as well. So let's get everything kind of cooking over here. Not necessarily seeing any strong formations to be drawing, other than the fact that you could make a good argument here, guys. You could make an argument that we broke out of a trading channel. Yes, we had some wicks and candles go below it on the daily chart, but as a whole, over the last, ever since back here in May of 2022, we really had been in this trading channel. We finally made a breakout over here, made some higher highs that we hadn't seen that price level since May. We are down right now. We're back down in the trading channel, but that is something to keep your eyes on. Looking at what I'm even seeing right now, I'm guaranteeing you if I pull up volume, fixed range volume. Yeah, sure enough, there we go. Point of control sitting right here around some of these peaks we had back in January of this year. So I'm looking at that as a potential. If we keep dropping here on compound, that's one of the first things I'll look at to say, hey, watch what happens when we get down here to about $55.26. Let's take a look here at some oscillators. Yeah, some really strong bearish things happening. Bearish divergence, overbought with a red triangle for this first peak. We made one more high, but then set two peak seekers and officially made those bearish divergences. We are sitting right now on the oscillator, the chart prime oscillator. We're addressing close to the 50. That could be support, but it does look like the RSI has dropped. Zero, excuse me. Up here, this is zero. Down on the RSI, it does look like we lost the mid-level, the 50. So, again, I think lower lows could be coming. Let's take a look, though, what the 4-day is saying. Oh, well, kind of similar to Bitcoin. You could see at least a pause coming in. We got some big flashes of being oversold. Let's go to the 12-hour here. Love me some oscillators. Yeah, getting some oversold flashes. So I think a lot of the compound pain is over for now. Potentially what we even should do here, T-Shroom, is keep our eyes, even though we only had 2 touches, maybe if we officially get a bounce here. So this is premature. I'm drawing this line, guys, but can we hold this support level moving to the upside? Can we get another push to the upside and keep on going? It's going to be an interesting thing to watch for sure. Let's take a look at some of our indicators, though, and see what they are telling us. We're sitting right now. We just crossed our trend assistant. That dynamic reactor on the 12 hours sitting right down there towards that point of control. A little bit lower than it, but right there towards that point of control. Let's see what the daily chart is doing. Let's go out here, take a longer look. Yeah, about to bounce off our trend assistant 4-hour. Let's see what it's saying. We just got a reversal flash along with our oversold flashes. We did cross below the 4-hour dynamic reactor, so that is something that if the bulls want to go super bullish, they're going to need to break above that. But potentially, T-Shroom, this isn't the show we usually do trade setups, but even what I'm seeing right here, that's a potential risky trade to watch along right here with these reversal flashes and a take profit sitting up here at dynamic reactor. For the sake of what I'm even saying, what would that trade kind of look like here? Looking like a 7% trade. So that's one you probably are looking at to say, I like to do my trades looking for 20 to 40% profit in that range. If you can go more than that, that's awesome. So in that case, I'd probably do like a 2.5 to 3x on this trade with my, let's see, if I'm doing 7%, I probably want to at most a 4%, probably at most a 4% stop loss here. So let's take a look here. If I'm sitting here at 8%, 7%, and I go 4% down, that's going to give me some good levels, I believe. Especially, I think I'm going to go right at 5%, actually stay below this wick here just in case of a fallout. But yeah, that's a decent little trade opportunity here on compound in the very, very short term, guys. This is not a long-term trade whatsoever. In fact, this is one that probably would be entered and closed within 24 hours for sure. Do what you want. This is not financial advice, just a cool little thing I'm seeing on the charts. Seeing a lot of different things saying that you could be moving to the upside here on compound. What time do we got now? 9:29. That's going to wrap up TA for today. We did our Bitcoin TA. We got a new coin in here. So anyone, you guys can use that, whether you want to trade compound and get more into compound or just even watching how I broke down a chart that I had not seen for a long time. That's kind of how my brain works there. Let's take a quick second, T-Shirt, before we jump into our market open and community. Let's engage with chat here for just a second. Any interesting questions, any interesting thoughts that you guys you saw in chat? I see Kid come on, said feelings on quant. Quant. I mean,
Well, it's a yeah.
good, good. Yeah.
It's a ISO 20,222 coin. And I've heard only really bullish things about it. I haven't heard too much
Yeah,
bearish FUD.
I think I'm bullish on Quant's one of the ones that I would want to add to my portfolio long term for the next bull market. I will say, looking at the charts right now, again, I think there's trade opportunities to the upside for sure. There's a symmetrical triangle pattern though that we moved bearish into it, so there's also a chance long term we get something flashing badly out of that. We are nowhere near this bottom we had back here in June of 22. So this is a coin. Again, I would not call what we're looking at massively overextended. In fact, I would actually say Quant is one that's kind of more in the middle ground, which means there's also a decent chance it gets a bigger dip here if things go bad. It might be one of the coins that people have more exposure to than they want, and they're going to liquidate, take some profit out of that, look for some better opportunities. So my feeling on Quant long-term, bullish, but short-term, it's not really one that I would want to be entering any long-term trades right now.
No. Okay. Yeah, Quant's not. It's definitely not the one that's like shouting out to me, buy.
Yeah.
But I saw somebody also talking about Litecoin, Dustin Singer, talking about Litecoin and AVAX. I'd say AVAX is probably a DCA. I think Litecoin, though, Tim, you know a little bit more about kind of its price history going into a halving, which is only, I think it's less than 30 days away now.
I would say, what is the date that we're looking at for a Litecoin halving?
Let me take a look here. But I was looking historically, there was
it rallies. Historically, Litecoin rallies into the halving and then crashes afterwards. That is and you're going to see crypto do the same thing. You're going to see a lot of times crypto, the same way we kind of use Bitcoin halvings to mark things for the rest of crypto space as well. Bitcoin rallies into the Litecoin halving and then it dips off. It's not really the halving event when it comes to Litecoin. Bitcoin's halving event is the bigger deal. It's just about the timetable. When Litecoin halvings happen, it marks times where the price should go to the downside. What are you seeing? What is the date on it saying Litecoin halving is happening?
Yeah, so only 8 days, guys. Not far away. I said less than 30, so accurate, but not super precise. So, 8 days, 7 hours, 22 minutes.
From a fundamental standpoint, that to me would mark, I believe, we did get a reversal on the daily chart on Litecoin, but I believe that could potentially be an interesting long for the next 8 days. And then you sell maybe the day before, maybe day of that Litecoin halving. The volume on that, I guarantee, will spike the day of the halving. And a lot of people will think, oh, it's time to long because it's halving, and then all the traders will take advantage of that. Longs will be liquidated. The price will bleed.
Here it is.
But
I've got a picture of the historic. The vertical lines are when the halving event occurs for Litecoin.
Oh, maybe it's too late.
And you can see that going into the halving. No bueno. Right now, we're going to that halving. We're kind of probably saw the peak that comes before the halving, and it's only going to be down.
Never mind.
Probably for another, probably call it 30 days. Will probably be a downtrend. So I would, if you're in it for the long term, I don't think this is a reason to sell Litecoin. If you're a hodler, there's nothing structurally changing about it. I mean, unless you consider it having structural change, which some might. But there's no real reason to sell it as a hodler. But there's also not a big reason to buy into it right now. So So that's ultimately kind of the take there. But absolutely, we're getting pretty high in the likes, guys.
I think we're sitting at 113. I did T-shirt. There's one thing I have to do. I have to go back, and I'll be very quick with this. I didn't talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. I completely forgot about that. Let me go back real quickly here. Let's take a look and why this is significant. Why is Bitcoin the loser? Just for anyone who's wondering. And remember, I talked about dates we wanted to look at here. So let's go back to the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. We're looking at the 3-month here. Yes. All right. So 50s. When 50s are hit, it has been hit on June 20th. It was hit on July 19th. It was hit on July 21st. And now it was hit here late last night, but technically to start off today. Let's go back. First of all, it started off bullish because June 20th all the way back here, price action was down at 26,700. And then we shot up the next time we hit it. What was the date of that next one again? It was July 19th and then the 21st. Yep. If we go to July 19th, right, it's going to be here. July 19th, right here. Well, the price action is at 29,800. So just comparing these 2 points, that's really bullish. We hit it again on the 21st, of course, because price was at the same level, but that would kind of become the new norm. 50 was a low on the Bitcoin Fear and Green Index. The low in price was a higher low than when the last time we were testing 50. But now that we've dropped to these newer levels, 29,000, and that's what made us hit a 50, we've started this shock of this is no longer bullish, this is bearish. This isn't like divergence. Just because we see the price action lows getting lower and the Bitcoin Fear and Green Index low staying the same, that's not how divergences work. You're not looking for divergences with Bitcoin Fear and Green Index. It is a straight one-to-one scenario, and at this point, the concern would be as price is going lower, it's dropping faster than the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, which means the whole system is lowering. Another sign of like, hey, again, I think that we're still having a form of a shakeout happening, but this is one of the reasons why I think potentially when people are still talking about $50,000 Bitcoins this year, I just don't think that that is going to happen. I think a lot of steam is being lost. I think that we have some more manipulation that can move us up back to 36,000, but it's going to take the actual launch and a lot of money flowing in, which again, I'm telling you, I don't think we're seeing 50,000 guys before next summer. Would love to be wrong. That's one of the things that I'm like, hey, if we can go to 50,000, that's awesome. But what I'm looking at on the charts, what I'm looking at when I'm breaking down logically what the economy is looking like, what the news is looking like, I'm not expecting and I'm not predicting a $50,000 Bitcoin before next summer when things start getting really, really interesting. So T-Shroom, that is what we had there for Bitcoin TA, Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Army Piper said, Shroom, can you look at Google today? Earnings are today. Good point. That'll lead us right into our market open. T-Shroom, what are stocks looking like? And definitely what is Google doing with their earnings being reported today?
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look, guys. Here, I got the Yahoo Finance earnings calendar here. As you can see, Piper is right. Google, which is the sibling company of Alphabet, the parent company, is going to be releasing earnings after the market close, and their estimated their EPS is 1.34. So that is going to be. I don't know if that's going to be attainable. I haven't looked and really dove into their technicals very much, or looked at their balance sheet or anything like that. But just taking a look here at the daily chart of Google, we're going to start our market open with taking a look at Google, which is up today. Not crazy up. It's up 0.2% here. So nothing crazy, but it's up, and it's up above that midline here for the range that it's been in, which is nice to see if you're a Google holder. So ultimately, I'd say Google is waiting until the market end. Now, what I predict here is that we'll probably see a run up in Google throughout today, and then there'll be probably a sell off around 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock seems to be kind of a nice little reversal time. So if we're starting off green, we'll probably see a run up, a reversal on Google, and then it'll come back down. And then who knows what's going to happen at earnings, because again, maybe there's some analysts who have a high level of certainty about which way Google's earnings are going to go, but you never really know when it comes to earnings, and you also don't really understand. It's hard to predict what the how the market's going to react to what the earnings even are. So that's why I don't trade earnings. It's kind of why we're not covering earnings too much. But earnings is a big deal, especially in hindsight. And we are right now in the earnings season. Yeah, and if you're new to investing, we will definitely be covering more in depth, maybe the basics of earnings on episodes after this. So taking a look here at energy, oil and natural gas both coming in modestly down today, not down more than 1%, either one of them. So really kind of trending sideways, both of those names. And then you've got your indexes here with the NASDAQ and the S&P both green, NASDAQ leading up 0.3% and the Dow Jones in the red, but only just barely. Take a look here at your crypto names. It's mixed. Your big boys are green, and then the altcoins look to be red. So Bitcoin up 0.3, Ethereum up 0.7. Those are some good healthy figures to start off the New York session with. And yeah, so basically your altcoins, though, not looking as bullish here in the first couple minutes, with Matic and Optimism Chain both down more than 1%. Let's see if we can find some more winners. Yeah, AVAX, Atom, both at the green, and Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin both in the green as well, although not by much. You're not seeing much decision today in the market. Compound coming back from what we were seeing earlier, down 3%. Now it's only down 2.3%. Your AI names also getting sold off today. But again, somewhat modestly. Lido just ticked back into the green there. Nice to see. Pepe still selling off. But Dogecoin continuing to rally, actually seeing a nice little move this morning, up 3.3%. So Dogecoin continuing to get bought. That narrative from yesterday of Elon coming out and saying that, the Twitter platform, now X.com, could potentially become a big financial mover. And Dogecoin kind of being implied there, not explicitly stated, but kind of implied there that it could maybe be part of that party. And it's getting bought. Investors are interested in maybe having some exposure to the upside potential of Dogecoin. Your metals are coming in green, silver up 0.8% and gold up 0.3%. So your alt metals there doing well in the lead up to the Fed decision tomorrow, with a little bit of anxiety, maybe a little bit of uncertainty. Shouldn't be too much, though. The CME futures are pretty decisive on this one. It's going to be 25 basis points, folks. Looking at your mega cap tech stocks, you've got Meta coming up, leading the market there, up 1.3%, now 1.4%. And the mega cap tech stocks are being led by Meta. Amazon actually down 0.9, the only red name in the FANG stocks here. And we may be able to shed a little bit light on why that is. Of course, now it's ticking green. Tesla up 0.7, NVIDIA up 1.7, and AMD up 1.1. Let's take a look at NVIDIA's chart. I want to get a refresh here. The absolute just skyrocket that NVIDIA has had. So it's kind of coming out of a little bit of a dip that it's had. I don't know if anybody's bought it. I certainly have not bought it this high. There's still some speculation as to whether or not the AI kind of euphoria is a bubble. I'm not convinced that it's a bubble, but I'm also not going to go buy a bunch of NVIDIA quite yet. Now, I will change my tune on that if robotics start to become more and more of a headline, because NVIDIA actually is right in the middle of that industry too. And if robotics start to become anything as sensationalized as AI was here just a couple months ago, you definitely want to be an owner of NVIDIA. Taking a look here at the bond yields. Bond yields across the board are coming up, except the 2-year actually coming down 0.6%. Movement to the downside for the 2-year bond yield. Your benchmark 10-year up 0.7. And taking a look at a mid-cap, decisively green across the board, except Jenny. Coinbase up 2.5%, so healthy gains here in the first couple minutes. Same for DNA and C3.ai. But it's DraftKings that's leading that watch list. Your big banks, pretty much green across the board, with a few exceptions. Big oil actually responding well to energy prices coming down today, so they must be unfazed by that. More than likely, that's some anticipation of earnings. And here is going to be the big applause getter. This is the crypto miners totally bucking the trend. I don't know what the heck is going on with this, but as crypto is mixed this morning, yes, Bitcoin is slightly up, but these miners are having an absolute heyday. It looks like probably institutional investment is saying, let's go ahead and scalp this dip. I'm going to take CleanSpark as our example. Take a look at this dip that CleanSpark has had a 19% move to the downside, and it looks like some whales are saying, yes, please, I will take CleanSpark there at around 630 per coin, not per coin, per share, and I will be putting that in my hodl bag. So I like that. I was in these names quite a little ways back here, so I'm glad to see that. Looks like the crypto miners are finding some stability down there. Well, to summarize, guys, I'd say you're seeing a pretty healthy kind of. It's not euphoric. Definitely, it's not a super strong comeback, but it's definitely a healthy movement to the upside after yesterday was a pretty decisive sell-off for the market. Kind of maybe the rounding bottom of what was a nice little correction here, and you can see on my screen, kind of well exemplified by CleanSpark, a crypto miner. But if we take a look at the NASDAQ, you can kind of see that reflected as well. You had a nice little move to the downside over Thursday and Friday, and then into Monday, and now you're starting to see some movements to kind of round out and maybe question if is there just kind of another bottom like there was back in July 7th and 10th that then led to another rally higher to push higher. But the overall kind of market narrative right now is how high will the NASDAQ go? Will it go ahead and retest those highs back at 1,673? I'm sorry. Yeah, the NASDAQ at 16,738. Or will it go ahead and find some resistance that it can't overcome and go back and test some of these lower levels, maybe something around the 14,000 range? These are the futures contracts of the top 100 NASDAQ. So sorry if the price is confusing you about the NASDAQ specifically. All right, so that's going to be our market open there. You actually, before I go, the MACD lines are getting pretty high here. They were able to sustain these levels through this rally. This is a weekly chart, so definitely looking back here at 2021. But now you are starting to see those MACD lines maybe starting to form an argument for being overbought. And that's why, I'm kind of asking the question and kind of latching myself onto that narrative of how high can the NASDAQ go. You saw this wick to the upside. That was quite a high percentage wick, again, on the weekly chart here, but that's a 2% wick, and it did not candlestick. So maybe there will be a candlestick and a move higher. I tend to think that the NASDAQ is not running out of steam quite yet. You'll see some rotation in and out of it, but I do think we're going to go back and test those highs on the NASDAQ here before the summer is over. Well, that's going to round out our market open, guys, and we are actually ahead of schedule, doing really well. So, Tim, what are you seeing in the chat? Is there anything worth noting?
Yeah, we had a super chat from Elliot reflecting a question that was asked by Mr. Bell 15. Good question here. Before I answer that question, though, real quick, we are at 129 likes. And guys, we got to get these likes to 150 before the end. So I know we only have 116 people here watching, but I guarantee there's at least 21 people who are watching as we speak and have not smashed that like button. Again, we get to 150. We are giving away 2 free memberships to join the memberships here, but also this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have our silver, gold, and diamond bro time, and we will be doing a Hot Ones edition. T-shirt and I will be putting ourselves through hell eating hot sauce on wings while answering crypto questions. You gotta love it here. Let's talk about this question. It's a very good question from Mr. Bell 15. It's a video topic that I would love to actually go even further on in the future, maybe even for our diamond members as we help educate people how to trade. But pretty much the question is, how do you figure out when to go in on a trade? Elliot Locke added, I DCA only, but thought it was a good question. What are your opinions? This is actually something that I've been thinking about over the last couple of days on the best way to try to help people understand this. Have you guys ever seen us when we're doing charts pick levels? If we're dropping in price, we pick a level, we say we think that the price could come down to this level. All right. That is not an opportunity to go in and enter a trade. You do not want to be entering trades based off of a rally that you're trying to catch the top and short, or a dip that you're trying to catch a falling knife and enter a long. When you're looking at spots and saying, I think the price could drop to here, or I think the price could rally to here, that is for the sake of DCAing. Whether you're adding to your bag, you're buying for the long term, because when DCA happens, you're talking about buying good spots and selling good spots. Not the perfection, not the exact top, not the exact bottom. You're looking for good. The question is good. When it comes to trading, how do you know how to enter a trade? This is a little more conservative. You wait for a confirmation of a trend. So, for example, guys, I've said that on Bitcoin, I do believe that the price action can make it all the way down here towards 28,000 here towards late August. What I'm saying is that I want to put a DCA order in at 28,000 for Bitcoin, but to trade, what I actually want to see is I want to see the price come down, hit that level, and then start a brand new move to the upside that has a confirmation. We're breaking through resistance. We're setting everything up on the charts that's overextended. We're starting to gain some momentum and volume. You are going to minimize your ability to gain a lot of profit with trades, but you want to get as many profitable trades as possible, and that's why you wait. You're patient. You have confirmation. When it comes to DCA strategy, whether you're buying or selling, you can be a little more risky, because even if the price drops lower than 28,000, guess what? I'm buying more Bitcoin if I have $100 to spend with a $28,000 price than I did at a $29,000 price, so I can accumulate and get more and more Bitcoin for less money. Even if the price goes deeper, I might have a second buy. I might say, which this is another long-term one I have, I want to buy more Bitcoin at 25,000. I won't enter a trade the minute we see 25,000, but I will buy and DCA into Bitcoin at that price. By the way, DCA has a multiple definition. Some people just buy once a month, once a week. Other people do like kind of more like I do. I do price DCAing, where I hit certain levels in price action. And I say, when price hits this level, I will DCA in, meaning I'll buy. When price hits this level, I'll DCA out and I will sell. That's the difference. Mr. Bell When we're talking about DCAing and trading, you do not enter a trade until you see a confirmation of a trend in that direction. Then you enter the risk. And when you do that, yes, your gains will lose just a little bit, but your percentages of trades that you end in profitably will increase. And that's the whole game. It's not about making 3x on one trade, it's about making hundreds of trades throughout the year, and you're profitable on 80% of them, 90% of them. That's the real money, and that's the long-term success that you will see.
Absolutely.
But as we're wrapping up here, we do have to get into this discussion here because this is what the title is all about. Bitcoin could crash hard if this happens. Just so you guys know, for the rest of the day, just some house news here. Today at 3 p.m., bro time. If you are a silver member already, make sure you're here at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tonight, it's Tuesday, tactical trades with me and T-Shroom at 6 p.m. We'll go to about 6:40 or so you want to be there for that. And tomorrow morning, who do we have as a guest, T-Shroom, tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning, we have none other than Evan Aldo is going to be on the show, and I couldn't be more excited, to be honest with you.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, he's almost always on. He's almost always on around the blockchain whenever I'm on, and so cool. We've chatted after the show. There's always like a couple minutes that people hang out, and Evan and I have been kind of chatting about him coming on for a long time, and so the fact that we were able to finally find a time is really, really exciting. So can't wait to get into that for sure.
Sweet. Well, we have 9 minutes left. Let's jump into this, guys. The title today, Bitcoin could crash hard if this happens. T-Shroom, what is that thing that is looking down? This is not being covered in mass media right now. I do expect probably the next couple of days we'll talk more about this. We're going to talk about this in greater detail on the BitBoy show this morning, so make sure you go over and watch. Today will be me, DZ, and I believe Nick will join that conversation as well. But what are we seeing in the news, T-Shroom? Mm-hmm. Let's break it down, and then we'll kind of have a short discussion about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I would say that it is being covered by mass media, but it's not being pushed.
It's not being pushed. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
like WorldCoin was pushed yesterday. All right, potential UPS strike, where talks stand and what to expect. It's a really big strike, guys. Union and company leaders are set to resume talks aimed at striking a contract deal by August 1st, with over 340,000 workers vowing to walk off the job if that isn't done in time. So why is this important? Well, we've got some important figures here highlighted. As we said, it's, in the hundreds of thousands of employees. In the name of the union is the Teamsters. Maybe you've heard of them. I think it was earlier last year. There was a railroad union affiliated with the Teamsters that was actually even bigger than this one. And that crisis was averted. But Teamsters have reached an agreement on multiple issues, including air conditioning, delivery vans. But the union is still pushing for better wages. Imagine that, for part-time employees who account for about half of UPS's workers. So a lot of this seems to be kind of around the UPS company specifically, which is publicly traded, by the way. And it also kind of begs the question of, what about Amazon? Well, Amazon, the online retail giant that ships thousands of packages each week, they are not exempt from this. A spokesperson, Stephen Kelly, said the company does not expect a significant impact on customer deliveries because most of the company's orders are processed through its own network. Amazon does deliver a portion of its packages through UPS, but its use of the company has been waning. So though Amazon is expected to fare better than smaller retailers of UPS Teamsters strike, logistics experts warn that some Amazon deliveries may take longer in rural areas that rely more heavily on UPS. And Tim, you found a figure earlier today that that it's about 7% of the United States GDP is transferred through these deliveries every single day. And hundreds of thousands of workers, as we just saw,
not GDP, GNP. So gross national product.
Right.
So GDP would be different thing. But 7% of gross national product is being delivered and handled by UPS. So that's pretty huge.
Right. So only trade within the continental United States, and maybe not continental, but United States. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whereas GDP is exporting and importing. So just to clarify, excellent. This is big, and this could lead to kind of the R word here. This is kind of the elephant in the room, is that a recession could be back on the table if this is not figured out properly. So, Tim, kind of, what are your thoughts on this? Is this something that we should be concerned about, or is it something we kind of sweep under the rug?
Yeah, it is absolutely essential that we are paying attention to this. Again, we have till August 1st for them to reach a negotiation, but this is pretty significant. I do think there's the likes of FedEx and Amazon kind of sitting here licking their lips saying, hey, how much of this could we take from them if it were to happen? But they wouldn't be able to cover enough for this to not have a dramatic effect on supply chain. One of the videos I was watching earlier today even was talking about, like, you go back 3-4 years ago. Let's go 5 years ago. Most Americans, if you were to say, hey, what are your thoughts about supply chains? They don't even know what you're really talking about. They're just kind of like, what do you mean by that? Give me more of a definition. Now, every American is very aware of what supply chains are and the significance of them staying up to date. And this is something that could absolutely bring a supply chain block and delay, in which case we're already sitting right now in a very fragile economy. Guys, recently, I just want to back this up for you guys. We have had news that retail investor debt has pushed above 1 trillion, meaning despite the fact that the economy's numbers have stayed up, even though we're printing money out the wazoo from the government, civilians aren't taking the loss yet because they're just going and borrowing on credit cards. Well, guess what, guys? At some point, you got to pay the piper. At some point, those debts come a calling. And then you add in things like supply shocks. For example, I don't know if you guys have seen this either. I saw it somewhere deep on what's now called X. It used to be Twitter, the artist formerly known as Twitter. We've seen that there's been a run in certain states on rice because there's a supply shock coming from India and concerns that they're struggling to feed their people. So therefore, they're going to be either raising the rate or completely stop shipping rice to America, and people are freaking out about it. Same thing's going to happen when UPS goes on strike and 7% of gross national product just gets paused. This is enough to make a spark to launch an already fragile economy into a disaster zone. Now, I'm not expecting this to be like a 1, 2, 3 year recession. I'm not saying that if this happens, we're going to see the exact same thing and severity as what we saw in 2008. But it definitely is enough to give us a couple months of really scary living, especially for lower class, lower income households where the price of goods will skyrocket or just completely be gone all the way together. People, again, one of the reasons why people are spending so much money on credit cards is because we have a certain level of comfort that we're so weak as Americans. We're like, if we don't have this comfort, we don't know how to survive. Therefore, let's take out $1 trillion of credit card debt. All of a sudden, that comfort levels go down. Well, what happens when comfort level and when people get restless? Now comes the rioting. Now comes the complaining. Now comes the screaming. Now you get Washington involved. Nobody wants to get Washington involved. Even the president of the Teamsters Union, when asked, would you like support from Joe Biden in the White House, said no. You just stay in Washington. Let us do our jobs. We know what we're doing. Maybe he's talking about the fact that Biden doesn't know how to negotiate with any global leaders, so there's no way he knows how to negotiate with UPS. But either way, nobody, including UPS, wants Joe Biden to get involved. But I guarantee you that's exactly what would happen, and we all know what happens when Joe Biden touches things. This is something you'll see a lot more come out in the coming weeks, the coming days, but mark it down right now. This will not be a small thing. If we get to August 1st and no deal is signed and UPS, 340,000 UPS workers, including pilots, will be going on strike, that could bring absolutely disastrous outcomes to the United States, to the economy. The recession that we've been waiting for to see happen could be triggered as early as late this summer. Scary, scary stuff. Bitcoin, by the way, I guess is the other significant. You might be wondering, hey, why are we talking about this? How does this affect crypto? Guys, when you're seeing money flow out, when people are worried about their money, it comes out of commodities and risk on assets well before the stock market. And with the economy going down, the stock market will go down. We already just showed you, T-Shroom showed you, the stock market is overextended, overbought right now. It probably needs to come to the downside. This would be the trigger to do it. But crypto and commodities, they'll be the first to get their liquidations before the stock market. This is something that we need to definitely be keeping our eyes on over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's absolutely true, Tim. When you brought this to my attention last night, I was like, oh man, this could be big. This could be the big one. We're kind of asking, is the NASDAQ going to be able to go back and hit those all-time highs? This could be the one that prevents the NASDAQ from doing that, or at least delays it, for a couple, several up to 6 months potentially. So we definitely don't want to see it happen. Right now, it's still early days. I mean, August is still a decent amount of time away for these talks to resolve. However, I'd say, with automation and robotics not too far away, if I'm the CEO of UPS, I'm thinking, how long can we wait? And what the heck is going on with the robotics department of R&D? Maybe we can shift some more budgeting over there, so we don't have to worry about this labor, these labor costs and what they're demanding. So that's it's hard to hear, but that's the realities. Robotics, AI, these things they're coming quickly. And, if my labor is only asking for higher wages, that's only going to incentivize me to go ahead and replace them with technology. So could see some of these effects that we saw during the pandemic accelerated. Not to put any fear in anybody, I'm not trying to spread any fear, but that's one potential symptom of what we could see here going forward.
Well, guys, it is coming to the end of the show. We are 5 likes short of our 150, but it is so stinking close. I'm sitting here. I've actually never attached my card to YouTube, and gosh darn it, T-Shroom, my hands are sweaty, I think, from the show and how exciting it's been. Oh, there we go. It's coming out. It's wanting me to verify my stuff. Here we go. All right, here we go. We might be able to do this. I'm going to, in good faith, that you guys are going to get us these 5 likes very shortly. We're going to go ahead and give away 2 of these memberships. There's one right there. Let's get a second one going here, and we will have 2 more people joining Bro Time this afternoon. Who else? There we go. Bye. We good? Come on, go through.
I saw it. I saw the first one go through.
The first one went through. We get a second one. There we go. All right. Who we got? The kid, come on. The kid, Colorado, Minnesota gets the first one. Scott A is the second winner. Thank you so much, everybody. There we go. We get 150. You guys knew it. 152 before we ended live. Guys, you are the most amazing community in all of YouTube. I am very thankful and grateful to come and spend every single morning with you guys. Again, we're the Investing Bros, guys, the most generous crypto community in all of YouTube. T-Shroom, Piper, and myself, we don't take a single penny from what comes in. In fact, we want to give a large portion of it to charity every single quarter, and the rest of it goes to making sure we continue to bring you guys top-notch content. If that's something you love, again, let's keep those likes going up. And if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel for more content just like this. Tomorrow is the FOMC day, guys. Big day for crypto. We will be back. But for the rest of you, make sure you join in tonight, 6 p.m. for Tactical Trades. Our members, especially our new ones, make sure you guys are back here at 3 p.m. for our special members-only Bro Time. With that said, though, guys, you have a fantastic day. We'll see you tonight. Peace.
Tryna make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word, doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividends. Tryna make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.